Kia ora, my name is Georgia and I'm with Coastguard Aotearoa Moana.
And kia ora, I'm Jordon from Hutchwilco.
And today we're going to be going through the inflatable manual 170 life jacket provided by Hutchwilco.
So this here is an inflatable life jacket and it's one of our most popular life jackets. It's perfect for all of your boating activities. A great reason why these jackets are so popular is that they can fit a multitude of people, but there is a requirement that there needs to be at least 40 kilos or heavier. There's a couple of key parts to your inflatable life jacket. As you can see here on the table, we have what we call the outer cover or the valise. This holds the internal bladder, and within that we have what we call our inflator mechanism. If we take that off there, we can see our CO2 cylinder, the inflator mechanism, and the pull toggle which inflates your life jacket. This yellow part here is what we call the internal bladder, and as we open up the jacket fully, once this tab was pulled, this would be all inflated. You'll be able to see a couple of key things here. We've got Solus reflective tape, which helps you at night and when you're in the water. And we also have an oral inflation tube to give you extra buoyancy if you need to. And another key thing, we have our grab line and safety whistle. Lastly, we have our version of a crotch strap, which is our ergonomic thigh strap, which wraps around your thigh. It's easily accessible just with this little rubber tab here. So you simply pull that and it's all packed away nicely that then you can then use when you need it.
There are a lot of different parts to the inflatable life jacket, and I'm going to take you through how to self-service them. So the first thing we'll want to check is the external cover, making sure that there's no damage, no sunlight damage, no excess damage, making sure the webbing is all good and nothing's broken or ripped, and also making sure the buckle hasn't cracked either and that it all works well. First thing that we're going to check is our canisters. The importance of checking your canister is to make sure that the CO2 is still in the canister. So we're going to take out the CO2 cylinder and we're going to inspect it. So as you're taking it out, making sure that the arm to the firing mechanism is pushed in, and then you can safely take it out and it won't set it off, and begin a more thorough inspection. And then we're checking for corrosion, any rust around the body, around the top where it screws in, and also making sure that it's not punctured in the top. If it's punctured, that means that the CO2 has been already released or it's leaking out, and therefore it won't inflate the jacket.
So for more details on the numbers in regards to your canister, the first stamp numbers that you see is 33 grams, which is talking about the weight of the CO2. Then as you move more down onto the canister, you see it has an actual gross weight of the total canister, which is stamped on here as 155 grams.
To check if the CO2 has leaked, then you can put it on your kitchen scales, and there it'll measure and tell you if it is matching the number on the canister or not. If there's no noticeable puncture, but the number is significantly lower, say to be 140 versus this 156, then that means the CO2 has been leaking out of the canister and it's time for a new one. If you don't self-service your life jacket, you run the risk of your jacket looking like this one. See, on the inside, the canister is completely corroded and is unable to be taken out, and the toggle itself, making it not a life jacket. Here are some examples of unfit canisters for your jackets. So these ones all show corrosion to the point where they would need to be replaced, especially looking at around the top. That corrosion could keep it affecting where the needle is puncturing it. Carrying on with the internal inspection, I'm going to open up the jacket even more. There's solar tape on the inside of the bladder. And so we're making sure that there's no cracks and that it is still visible. You want to make sure that there's no visible punctures on the internal bladder itself, making sure that the tube is in working order and that there's nothing wrong with the one-way valve here, and making sure the grab line and the whistle are all connected and there's no damage.
The next step with the self-inspection is inflating the bladder. This can be simply done by using the oral tube. Once the bladder is fully inflated, we want to make sure that we leave this for 24 hours to make sure that it doesn't lose any pressure. So on the oral inflation tube, it has a little cap. You just simply reverse that and you put it down and you're able to release the pressure. And then a simple way is to just grab all the jacket and simply squeeze as much air as you can out. This is super important for repacking, so just keep squeezing and pressing and getting as much of the air out of the bladder as you can. So the bladders are pretty tough. You're able to keep scrunching and pushing and getting as much air out of this as you can. Unfortunately, if you have any damage to your internal bladder, if there's a slow leak or a puncture, if the retroreflective tape is worn and torn and damaged, then unfortunately you're going to have to replace your inflatable life jacket. As you can see here, we've got our brand new canister that hasn't been punctured. It weighs the correct amount that we need it to, and we're going to make sure that our inflator mechanism arm is in the upright position, locked in place, and we're going to simply screw that in here. And as we screw that in, we're going to see that it turns from red to green, which means that our jacket is going to be good to go. We want to make sure that it's a firm, tight fit with the canister there, and then we're going to use our cover here to make sure that we enclose it, and this is our splash guard to make sure that no salt water sits on the canister. So it's got a little tab there. We're just going to pull that through, just going to clip into place, and that's going to make sure that we're all nice and neat for when we need to repack it. So we're at the stage now where your jacket has passed its self-inspection and we need to repack it. So we're quickly going to take you through how we do this. This is a very important step to packing your life jacket. And as we go through it as well, if you do need any help when you're doing this at home, just on the side here, all of our jackets, you're going to find repacking instructions. Another great tip that you're going to also find, it has what we call a service date that you can put on. With the jacket flat in front of you, with all the air outside of it, we want to make sure that it's nice and open in regards to the bladder here. We want to work from our side that has the bottle on it, just so as we work through the jacket, and if you do have any air left in it, you're easily able to make sure that you can let it out on the oral inflation side. We always want to fold the bladder. We never want to roll the bladder. The main reason why is that when we fire the jacket with the canister, if it was rolled, you sometimes get points where instead of inflating properly, it will get caught and pinched and the performance of the jacket is totally lost. When you're folding the jacket, as you can see here, it's able to concertina out and inflate in the right way. So we're going to start folding our bladder. And as we can see, we start with a little small piece, normally 1/3 of the size, and then we fold another third in, folding that back on, giving us a nice slender pack. We're then going to make sure that this is all sitting nicely in our outer cover. And with these jackets, they're super easy. We've got our Velcro. We can simply start to put the Velcro back together, ensuring that our little inflator mechanism is always on the outside of the jacket. We're going to come towards the neck of the jacket. Don't be afraid here, as you can see as we come up to it. We again ensure that we have this neck strap that's sitting on the top here. A key point to this is that we are going to fold this in with the jacket. This is important because we want this to come out all together as once, as you just seen there. We don't want to just fold this jacket without this sitting in it, or else what happens sometimes that twists and can get caught up, so we don't want that to happen. As we get to these corners, again, not rolling it, we want to be able to fold this in. So we fold this into this corner, making sure that we have the cover, following it with the Velcro. And as we work our way around, we also want to ensure that we grab our grab line that has our whistle on it. We want to make sure that this goes over our oral tube here, so it sits nice and flat together. And now we're going to work from the opposite side, always folding till we get to this corner again, folding our corner in to make sure the bladder is nicely packed together. Fitting the life jacket is pretty simple. We've just got our front buckle here, so we're just going to unclip that. And in the same motion you put on a normal jacket, we're going to put one arm through, making sure that we can grab the other side and putting our other arm through the other side here. Bring it to the front, making sure we clip it in. And most importantly as well, we want to make sure that we can adjust it to our size. So it's just got our strap here. We just got to hold the buckle and just pull it through and make sure that it's nice and firm on the body.
My jacket's feeling loose, so I would just hold it here and then pull, right?
Yep.
So with all the Hutchwilco inflatable manuals, they'll come with the ergonomic thigh strap. Some people still call it the crotch strap, but it's just on this green tab here on the jacket. You pull that open, and out comes the strap. And then from there, we go behind our bodies, through our legs, and then clip it back up, and then adjust it as you need.
As you can see here, we have a lot of adjustment, so it means that it can fit multiple people. Once this is fitted perfectly to yourself, you're able to just tuck the excess webbing away into the jacket.
For the pre-wear check, you're going to make sure that the canister is okay, so checking it by opening the jacket, opening to see that the canister is in there, it's screwed on properly, and it hasn't been punctured. So you know how to take it out and put it back in now. Also making sure that the jacket is fitted on nicely and it's not going anywhere. Even just knowing how to put on the thigh strap is good, just in case we need it. And if you've done all of those checks, then we're ready to hit the water. For more info, guidelines and courses, head to these websites.
For more information about our life jackets, head to the Hutchwilco website.
Wearing a life jacket never ruined a day on the water.